There you go. That a little bit more. That should do it. Whoops. Oh, that happened. Honey bear. There. Hello, Miriam. Whoops. That should do it. Oh boy, what a lovely stream this is gonna be. Let me just get my pigeons lined up in a row. Good. Got there. And pretty much what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna just let the needed channel messages come out. So I'm not into the chat. It's just the messages kind of need to be said. So for those of you that easily most likely already know, the situation regarding Roe versus Wade. Take over. Oh, I was hoping that, you guys finally figured it out. Oh, I forgot. Wait a minute. Never mind. This is what happens when you put old, forever alone, decrepit old men in power. Oh, they didn't get their woozy woo dreamies met. So what do? They hissy fit and then they take it out on women instead. Boo hoo. Get over it. Besides, I've never heard of anything so dumb than a group of. Wait a minute. Actually, I've seen this happen before many times. Just not, not just in like in a government setting, but in a place that's supposed to be holy, I suppose. And they kind of were a little bit too much bedazzled. Yeah, I'm talking about those. I mean, as this one calls it, the place where the he who fonts are. A congregation usually of old geezers, all tushy hurt because they did not get their deepest woozies met. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. You won't get the chance next life because you'll be put into a situation where you'll have the same thing be put to you. Because I've never also thought, why would anybody want to have a competition to see who can be the most like Yahweh? Who can be the most like him? That's not something you want to be proud of. You really want to be looking up to something or, trying to be as close or as identical to something that tried to say that I had to submit and be violated? Really? How's that something to look up to? Ew. Oh, another thing too. Uh, who thinks they have the authority and the voice to speak on my behalf and say what I have to do? Who thinks that they can do that, huh? Guess it's not any of them. Oh, it's illegal. Did you know man's law is the most flawed? Point being, man's law is flawed because if you know how to play with it, and just pull the strings in the right way, you can manipulate it and get out of anything. or you can manipulate it to completely defend yourself. There is a law, I believe. I think it is called HIPAA, I believe, one of those two. So government, I believe, who said that they have to tell you their medical history, their medical privacy, medical history? Who gave you that consent? None of the women did. So you cannot be being pushy on them to say, "Are you having an abortion?" Rude. You can't do that. You're violating HIPAA, honey. And if you're going to be pushy with it, no. Oh, and then also, a doctor can't hand it out either. That's also violating HIPAA. There's your clash, honey. If you're going to try and take it out, well, you have another thing in your way, honey, and you can't get rid of that. Oh, no, flawed. Well, maybe. Oh, I don't know. That's just one way, though. Another way that you can also, stop these old hissy-fitty old geezers. Oh, let's see. Oh, and bear in mind, when I'm mentioning the old geezers, I'm talking about the ones that are like really, really like bad. I'm not talking about the ones that are really trying to make a difference. And you know which ones are really trying to make a difference. Keep that in mind. Another thing that can be done. Oh, what's that guy's name? The the head honcho guy. Hand him this. And now just sign your name by making up some my word is law kind of a thing and just say, "Oh, you're going to try and do this, force this onto women and being forceful like that? Executive order, the government cannot do that. Get blocked." Isn't that a little bit tyrannical and a bit of a dictatorship? Cupcake. Milkshake. There's a difference between being a dictator and throwing your power around like a tyrant. Then there's actually using that power in the same way, but what is best for the people. There's a fine line. Don't be stupid. Come on, honey. If you're using the power with the right intention, it's clearly completely different than being like, let's see, executive order, every person must kiss my front foot every morning. Everybody lines up and does it. Now, you see, that's a little extreme, but still, nonetheless. If you're doing an executive order on the best, for the investment for people, whether they like it or not, it doesn't matter. If you're putting in an order safeguarding the person from even the government bodies themselves, that's what you're supposed to do. Just saying, hun. And that's another thing that could be done right now, but wakey wakey up in the head. And before something tries to come up and try and counter that, well, there's also this too. Well, the processes that had to be involved. Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense, but though. One little side note. Well, how come one side is following the rules and the other isn't? If that's the case, and they're not following the rules, following the guidelines, and just pushing things through in the wrong way, well, why does the other side have to play by the rules then? That no. If one side is not honoring the rules, okay, neither than the other does. There's nobody gets favoritism then. But in this case, there's nothing in the rule book that says that you can completely also, again, with the power of the pen, Put in an order that says, guess what? If you have been in office for way too long, it's time for you to get out. Because, you're starting to stink up the place. Because some things have to change. And believe me, honey, where no matter as long as you want to deny it, you are going to kick the bucket. You are going to stop moving. All of us will. Well, human, that is. So don't delay the inevitable and just understand it's time. It's time to retire. And time to let in something new that has to come in. Because without destruction, there's no creation. There's no involvement. Nothing new can come in because the old has not been removed and given the rightful time to do its part of being able to release from here on this plane. If it's just going to sit here and sit here and sit here and decay, honey, that's going to infect everything. It has to go. Let go. Let it go, honey. It's okay. You had your fun. Now time to give it to someone else. And I wonder why nobody's also has done this before. Because I mean, if you guys are really into a big hissy fit about things like when the elections are going, or like you choosing the people that are supposed to be leading by example, I wonder why nobody's ever done this before. Hey, we'll pay we'll pay you this amount or do this for you or help you with this campaign if you say this. Now here's the thing. I wonder why nobody's ever thought about it like this. Oh, you're gonna give me that much money towards the campaign? Okay, give me it first. Money first, please. Thank you. No. I'm doing what I want to do. And I'm doing what I believe is best, not you. Oh, and don't try and come after me, lovely, because here's the thing. Do you want to be put in front of the world like, oh, look at this? Look at this twat head and this corporation that tried to bribe me into doing what they wanted. Bribing a government official, that's not a good thing to be known for, hon. Yeah, don't do it, Cupcake. Because, yeah, that's not going to look good. I mean, I'm just, that's none of my business because I don't know about you human political stuff, but wonder why nobody's pulled that trick yet. Because, I mean, God forbid that, the people that are like, I guess, lobbying, I guess that's what the word is. I, I, I just don't understand why somebody hasn't been all like, oh, look at this dipwit. He's going to give me money by just saying something. Okay, hand me the money first. Sorry, nah, not feeling it. Easy money. Oh, don't mess with me because you'll be made, a whoopsie in front of all of you. Don't do it. Get wrecked. Stop doing that. Or even better, why not get somebody in power all the way to the top, the head honcho, and he do the same thing, and then be all like, okay, first order of business, pen please. Oh, okay, so you lobby people, bribing people. Oh, you guys doing that still? No, not anymore. Executive order. No, sorry. If you do that, you're going to be put in the bar area behind it and stuck there as I think it's a felon, feeling, convict, felon, automatic, something like that. And yeah, that's not going to look good. Mm-mm. So let's not do that anymore. Back to the Roe and Wade thing. I think, since it's already been settled on, why bring it back up again? Well, well, it's because, it's ending a life. Well, here's the thing, honey. Here's the thing. Little do you know, you have no authority over a woman who's expecting. Nobody does. The only one that does is herself. She has to say, nobody else. Well, it's a sin. No, 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 Cupcake. Oh, you're just so adorable. It's not a sin. What's a sin is just an opinion. Sin is an opinion. Because what is bad for someone might not be bad for somebody else. What's good for someone may not be their good for another. What's, an atrocity to someone may not be atrocity to someone else. And before somebody comes in and says, like, oh, you justifying murder then? Milkshake, did I even say anything like that? Besides, sin, remember, it's what that crusty guy with the beard up there says is bad. Use your head, hon. Of course, murder's bad. Come on, honey. What makes you have the authority to take another life? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Since the mother that's carrying is enduring all that, and it's within her, she decides. And if if, if some man can run, I like what he did. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. He's the one who did it. Gross. If some guy think that that's okay to do, oh, you're just so cute. Get back over here before you're forced to take care of this mess you made. And worse, if he thinks that forcing himself onto someone, and now the victim is carrying. If she wants to abort it, that's her choice. But one more little twist. The guy can pay for all the medical bills. All the medical bills. He can pay for it all. Not her. No. Because why should she have to suffer for his lack of self-control? Why should she suffer? I mean, who's the one that, was pushy and forced himself onto her? I mean, she can't, force herself to get pregnant. In the case of, being violated, she can't force herself to be violated. And before somebody comes and says, well, she dresses like she's looking for it. No. That is just stupid logic. Because here's the thing. Did you know, and by did you know that you better know this, otherwise you're stupid and you need to have a few bumps on the head to fix that. Did you happen to know that a woman can express herself however she deems fit? Artistically, and present herself however she deems fit? And no matter which way it is always the right one and the best one and the most beautiful. Did you know that? I hope so. If you didn't, well, oops. Time to have this 101. Because now here's the thing. If she presents herself at her best, regardless of what it is, and if a man decides that he's going to go towards her and disrespect her sense of boundary, violate her, who's at fault? Not her. Who's the one that had the urge to go and, whoop? Wasn't her. She's just presenting herself as she wants to. And how she is confident in presenting herself, putting herself out there in the way that she's all, I know this is my best self. I'm putting my best out. And how I'm going to be presenting myself to the world is what I feel and I know is my best. So if some twathead decides to think it's okay to go up and violate that, really? No, honey. No. No. Because now we answer the questions. Who's the one that got the urge to think it's a good idea to go act on it? Nope, it wasn't her. She didn't even know the guy existed. And she actually was not really. Then again, who would want to be violated like that? Oh, wait, no one. Yeah, no one. I can't think of anybody. Next. So, since he was the one that lacked self control, I think that's 2 strikes. Because, I mean, she's in full control of herself. She's presenting herself how she deems fit. And if he finds how she's presented beautiful and something to admire, he can give admiration with his words and compliment. Not that hard. It's not that difficult. Use your words. Keep your hands to yourself. Because beauty does not mean you can go up and touch. Beauty does not mean that you can go and grab and pluck, violate, and take with you and think you own it. No, hun. No. It's just like the same thing with a flower. You see it, you smell it, you appreciate it. As soon as you pluck it, oh, you just start the process of it dying. Good job. And next one. Well, it's in this faith. Well, I believe this is how it works, at least in this country, the U.S. The us. I think religion and law have to be apart. If I think I'm correct. If that's the case, well, it doesn't matter who believes in what, and who the divine or whomever thinks. It does not influence the rights of a person. It doesn't. Because what we think cannot influence the, the foundation for a human right. The most we can do is pretty much inspire, give our stories, and then mankind be smart enough to read it, understand it, and philosophically debate it to its best viewpoint and understand the deepest depths of it and understand it to implement it in life. That's the point of a divine. We inspire to guide man. In return, man gives us the appreciation. We we go back and forth. It's like a nice flow. Nextly. Oh, here's a good one. So I've never it's really disgusting. Selling somebody's, especially women's private information regarding their cycles. Milkshake, lovelies. No, you can't do that. That's a violation of HIPAA. Did you know that? And before someone says, well, isn't it precisely like this? It doesn't matter. Is it part of her health? Part of her, medical? Yes. Did she consent for it to be sold? Did she consent for it to be given to or put at risk to be given to the government? No. That is confidential unless if she states it herself that it can be given to said entity. She has to specifically say that this can be given here to this individual. If she doesn't, oops, sucks to be you, dude. Big HIPAA whoops. And nope, nope, mm-mm. And women are not don't ever think this either. If some twat head, I think there's like 9 of them, I believe, if they think that they can make a lot of this paper stuff, money or whatever, off of and making women a resource like that, money, no, no, trust me, no. Because if that's the case, well, have you happened to hear about the story about how I made a man a resource? And by like that, I mean what happened with Adam. I mean, heck, what do you think I use as my drinking glass? No, women are not something to make money off of like that. And furthermore, why do they have to pay more for the same thing? You ain't slick cupcake. And just because it's pink and it has she on it. and it's marketed. I think that's the word for women. How come they really? No, 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 no. That's just no. Ew. Come on, hon. Come on. You're charging more because she's a woman? Oh, and here's another one. Why did they have to pay money to take care of themselves with their cycles? Shouldn't that be, let's see here, foundational for all of them? Should they be able to do that regardless and not have to pay money for that? I think it's fair. I mean, men don't have to worry about that. So I think it's fair that women don't have to worry about that either. They don't have to pay money to take care of something that's natural. They shouldn't, because if that's the case, well then if women have to be forced to handle and pay for something like that, okay, man, looks like the sea here. We'll have to come up for something for them to have to pay on then. I mean, heck, it's just fair. Don't blame me. Hmm. Oops. And another thing too for giggles. So, what's so scary about having a woman in power and as the head of a company, a CEO, or heck, even being a part of the most highest court of the United States? What's so scary about that? Nothing. There isn't anything scary about it. In fact, it's showing that, it's vital that we do have that there, especially the newest one, especially that one. And definitely more than just being able to be like, "Aw, what's wrong, boys? That makes you uncomfortable? Aw, deal with it." Besides, she's more qualified than you guys anyway, so you don't even have a right to say anything. Zip it, sit. And before, no, 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 no. I could care less about cases she's done before. Does she have the credentials for it? Yes, she does. Does she handle it? Yes, she does. End of story. And please, I don't want to hear anything about what's that guy's name? Raul? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. He doesn't like that. I won't say that again. I'm sorry, my bad. I'll never say it again. Sorry, Raul. I mean, crew. I mean, whatever the heck your name is. My sincere apologies, Mr. Raul. Gosh, I'm sorry. That's just your name instead of the head. And I'm just gonna keep calling you Raul. Oh, don't. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's okay. And and again, the chat's not being looked at right now because I'm just letting the messages come through. Just so that way, if you're watching, I'm wondering how I'm not responding. I'm just letting the messages come through. Oh, another one too. Okay, can we just have the conflict that's going over into the old world in place? I believe it's called Ukraine. Can we stop that, please, son? Really? How long is it gonna take? Can we just stop it, please? Because it's just disgusting. Really disgusting. You don't have to be thinking that, oh, we gotta be careful. Really. Every second that passes, lives over there of those people get taken. The children, the elderly, innocent people, and they're being executed in a disgusting, vile way. And their remains get torched to cover evidence, homes and their buildings ransacked, valuables stolen, and violated them. You think we have to be careful now, especially when they are also testing a launch of a rocket that's just named. Really, of all the things you're gonna name that thing, you're gonna name it after a divine being? Really? Wow. What a what a generic and boring and just so overly done, and it's just so annoying. What a just obnoxious stereotype that keeps being done. Of all the things, come on, can you do something original? Please, because it's getting old. Calling something that is clearly just bad something named after Satanas. Can you please just stop that? It was cute at first, but can you stop? The joke's kind of overdone. Please stop. Please, just stop. Because that's like saying, oh, having another one is saying and calling it, oh, love Jesus. It's the same thing. There's no difference. Because here's the thing: if you're going to be taking Satanas' name, putting it in ways that's intentionally dark, like by dark I mean like oh, grotesque, inhumane, vile. No, that's a stereotype, honey. Let's stop that. Unless if you've spoken and talked with him and had a chance to converse with him one on one, you don't have a right to say anything about him. You don't. And if you don't like it, oh well, stick it. Deal with it. Boo hoo. Here, have a handkerchief. Let me know when you're done with it, and I'll fling it right back at you to make sure that all the wetness in your eyes is gone. But still, I mean, having one of those things be test launched, I don't know about you, but I think if something is being tested with its launching, I think that's good enough to intervene and say, hey, stop. We're not doing that. You, end it. Enough. Come on, hon. Put on your big power boy pants. Stop it. Quit it. Take a stand. Do what must be done. Because here's the thing: if you do not take a stand, and whatever happens afterwards, you have the power to make the choice and go and put a stop to it and push for it. And if you had all this time to step in and not just waste time and delay the potential of saving countless lives, it's not your people's fault. It's not. But the conflict, enough's enough. It's day 71. Enough with the killing of those innocent people in Ukraine. Enough. Enough. Stop. No more. Stop. Enough. No more. And, if you're the whole thing like, oh, per I'm gonna try and do the accent. So if I miss it by a little bit, I'm sorry. Oh, we must get rid of Nazi. Oh, really? Well, you guys are kind of acting like it to the Ukrainian people. You guys are kind of actually embodying the thing you're trying to stop. Oh, look at that. It's narcissism. Aw. Wow. Didn't know that, well, I mean, that's what happens when you get inspired by Yahweh. You tend to be like him, just disregarding, disrespectful, and just vile and cruel and just, oh, go figure. What do I know? But anyway, I feel I've said enough. So I'm going to take my leave, lovelies. So enjoy the readings when they come through. But right now, I'm going to have like a little intermission so that way this one can cool off a little because he's hot sweating. So I'm going to grab a drink, I'll be back, and then we'll do live readings, and then I'll check the chat. So, be right back. Do not break it. Don't break anything. Don't you do it. Okay, I have returned. So, let me just go said, okay, now, 30,000 years later, I'm now looking back at the chat and feel so bad if I missed. What the heck, dude? Oh, that's probably why. Why is it not? Oh, hi, Mika. Okay, now let me go all the way to the top. I'm good, Fadwa, if you're still here. Hello, Ray. Mm-hmm. Hello, Angela. I'm just reading everything. What? Wait a minute. What about what happened in Tennessee, Kayla? Age limitless marriage? Really? Because guess what? If you're forcing a child to get married, forcing a child to marry you, and you're, let's see, pretty much, let's say, the age of, 65, that's pedophilia. And that's also by default. By default. Just because by default. Pedophilia is automatic child abuse. Automatic. There's no way around it. Because you're taking prey onto a child, taking and abusing that innocence for your gain. Being attracted to someone who is a child doesn't matter. If it's within, it's within. It is what it is. But when you push it onto somebody else, you're violating them. And as a child, they can't comprehend themselves. And at least on how this land is stated, at 18, if it's below 18, does not matter. Especially even if it's 17 and it's the next day, it's the birthday. Till then, delinquency of a minor. No vans, butts, or tushies. Even if some states say, well, then it's of 16. Okay, well, then same thing with 16. It's lower then. That's it. Still. But still. And even another thing, too. Here's a little cutie little thing to think about. Think with abortion, though. Well, here's the thing. Who said that, they had to say that it's going to be an abortion? It could even be something said as, if a doctor is willing to do it. And like if something's like, oh my God, did you give her one of those? No, she had to have surgery in her abdomen to remove a growth because it would have killed her. A growth? Well, what's in it? I cannot disclose that. It was a growth. That's as much as I can say. Because if I mention any more, that's violation of HIPAA. And she said to not give you any consent with it. Too bad. Nope, you can't cross the line. Deal with it. Oops. Yeah, never without my permission. Other Angela. Yeah, but I hope there's things too. Well, thank you, Angela. Actually, really, you don't have to thank me because that's just Lilith coming in. And I mean, whenever she comes in, she just goes. But even then, too, at the core of it all, everybody has their viewpoint, and it's valuable. But the thing is, you do not need to have somebody tell you how to have your body and how it works, how it's to be done, and what it can and can't do. Because now you're going against nature. Wait, if you think you're going to go against nature and win, remember who kicks the bucket, who goes into the ground, and who becomes what's fed upon in the grave. People. It's the same thing, life and death. Once you kick the bucket, you become the nurturance for the new things to grow. The foundation, new things grow. Then it repeats. Repeats. Amiga, amiga, amiga. Yep, and the thing is, me personally, like on a personal level, one of the biggest things that gets me like willing just to go and just table flip and just, speak loudly is whenever, a woman is being pushed down and like being forced in a direction and being commanded. Oh, that gets me livid. Like really livid. Like, no, 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 don't do that. No, 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 no. Well, my faith says I can do it. Okay. Well, you know what my faith says? Because we're going to be playing about like freedom of religion. Okay. Well, if your faith says that you can do that, my belief system says I can slap you for being stupid. Hey, religious freedom. Nope, you're being stupid. Religious freedom, my faith believes that. You see how stupid that is? But that's what it is. In my belief system, I'm allowed to go up to any kind of dim-witted twathead who's, abusing a woman and just, pop both of his hanging cherries. Well, let's see here. There's one. Oh, man, yeah, that'll work. Hand me this one. It's just, and now really, another big question to think about. At the end of the day, it really makes me think. At the end of the day, what is the purpose and the intent, and what is the intended outcome for all this trying to accomplish? What is trying to be accomplished over here? I mean, I still don't know. Is it be all like, oh, we lost, so we're gonna be just hissy fitting nonstop? Okay, well, boo-hoo, get over it. Woe is Adam, get over it. Time to stop. Holding on to I lost. Woo, boo-hoo. But specifically though, the idea of thinking that just putting a woman in a state where it's just like trying to control and also denying healthcare. No, no, you can't do that. You can't deny healthcare to a woman. Roommates. No, Kansas, stop it. Because if that's the case, really. So tell me then, Kansas lawmakers, tell me this. What is a roommate? Is it somebody who's mating in the room? Is it somebody who lives in the same household? How are you defining it? And here, you can have the dictionary to help you with that one. And by roommate, are you meaning somebody who pays to be there? Pay or somebody who resides there alongside the one that's renting or owning the property? What are you defining it then? Well, here, here's the thing though. Yeah, rentals are stupidly expensive, and it's just like, okay, the people that are in power, you guys are gonna have to go because you're really making the whole place just stink up. Time to go to the home. You guys have been here since Moses walked the earth. Time to go. Come on, let's go. I'll even get you in your chairs to carry on. Hmm. I hate to put it this way, but actually, no, I don't hate to put it this way because here comes the bamboozle. If somebody has 3,400 for a studio, really? Wow, this had better be top tier then, not shit tier. Like, really? Okay. If it's like pathetically small and not that good, okay. So the one thing that happens wrong, you can withhold the rent then. Oops. Like the cooling, the heating, the water doesn't work. Even like some bugs in it. Uh-oh, withhold the rent. It's a health hazard. Get wrecked. Oops. But specifically, my little teehee troll face moment. If anybody happens to be having either one, let's see, domestic partnership, which can include same gender couple, not like a male female, somebody who is transitioning to the other, non binary. It counts. Domestic partnership. It's a partnership within the home, living together, that counts. Or even a civil union, because in the eyes of the law, that mimics a married couple, a marriage. It mimics it perfectly. But now here's the thing. If there's grounds for it in another state, proving it and showing it, and whatever that state guidelines are, it has to be acknowledged in another state. No ifs, ands, buts, or tushies. So get bamboozled. Oops. Now here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I am absolutely 100% all for preserving history. 100%. The thing I'm not all for, the parts of history that are crippling and holding everyone back. Especially the parts that are just like, well, it has to be like this. No. Because, well, the past being glorious, I can say, well, I would say when the libraries of Alexandria were still standing, but, they got decimated unjustly. Hmm. And history should be taught like how it is, like what happened, and just exactly how it is. Neutral. This is what happened. Let's not have it happen again. No fans, buster tushies, and go on from there. And the saying, history repeats itself. Hmm. Well, it's somewhat being mimicked in a way again, like 100 years ago, somewhat. The only thing that's different is technology advanced. And there's some people that think that birds, yeah, birds, are not real. The American native. Hmm. And also the thing is, and Jay, the thing is, the minute that you remember your ancestors, the minute you acknowledge and remember them, there they are. They're alive. It's true. The minute you think about them or speak about them, they're alive again. Um, Central. Okay, but and also Jay. So then you would, yeah, then you would know about the three deaths then, right? The first death, the second, and the third then of um I cannot. I know what holiday it is. Los Dias Muertos. If I butcher that, you can hit me with a blunt object upside the head, and I apologize. I tried though. Yeah, because the number one thing nobody wants to have happen is when they pass over and they get forgotten about. When that happens, there's no coming back. Yes, that one. Close, but not quite. I mean, and specifically with that. Oh, no. Well, the thing is, being born on sacred days like that, you do get attuned with that tradition. If that makes sense. So so that would make okay. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here. That would make you a Scorpio, right, Jay? Well, Scorpio sun. Am I right? Am I left? Okay, good. So that means you feel the most like well, like how I'm just throwing astrology stuff out there. But anyway, so the things with the you have a lot of Scorpio placements. Which planets? Now I'm all curious because I'm gonna be completely honest here. I adore Scorpio, but when you understand Scorpio, you come to realize you love it. Stellium. Well, because I tend to only read with Vedic rules, and Stellium's kind of I don't use them. Like what planet specifically? Like do you have let's see. Yes, Matthew. Holy Lord Lanta. Oh my sweet pigeon feeder. That means you'd have K2 and Taurus. Oh my Lord Lanta. Well, your sun sign is pretty much the soul and what makes you feel fulfilled. When you do this, whatever your sun is, you feel like, okay, I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in this life. I feel I'm fulfilling something. And I just feel like bright and enlightened, if that makes sense. Because if you're doing something that makes you feel illuminated and uplifted, oh, so okay, so Cancer ascendant with that would make you Scorpio would be in the wait a minute, okay. Where? Five, okay. That means you have a Pisces in the ninth house, and then you would have Scorpio fifth house, right? If so, oh boy, that's I don't like where this is going. So you have oh boy, here we go. Sun, Moon, Shukra, Venus, Jupiter Guru, Pluto, the little shithead. That's what I call him. And Rahu, the north node of the moon. So here's what we got here. So you have the two luminaries, the king and the queen. That's what it is. And we happen to be born under a full moon. then? If so, I bet you, yeah. But either way, new moon. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I got those backwards. My mistake. Whoops. Ugh. So you have Sun, Moon, Venus, right, Jupiter, Pluto, and Rahu. Well, let's split it up. The King and the Queen together. Now you have Venus, a guru of the world. Then you have the guru of the gods, the advisor to the gods, and then you have the advisor to the people, the human beings. You have the two gurus with the king and the queen. That's good. Because whenever Venus and Jupiter are together, even though they butt heads, they work together. They'll tolerate one another because they understand we have to uplift and guide people. We can't have conflict with each other. But now you have the king and the queen together. Now here's the thing. Whenever Jupiter comes into contact with any planet, he pretty much uplifts everybody he's with. So, Sun, Moon, Venus, a little shithead Pluto, and Rahu, they all get affected, uplifted. But here's the thing. When it comes to Rahu, whenever Jupiter looks at Rahu, or is conjunct Rahu, Jupiter is willing to completely detain Rahu from having him overkill, meaning that his significance just go too much. So, essentially, altogether, we get this. When it comes to your creative self-expression, like your artistic expression, the way that you like to well, creative self-expression, doing something like playwright or anything that has to do with children or anything such as speculative games, studying like liberal kind of like liberal arts as well. But primarily fifth house is a house of fun. So when you have the sun and the moon there together, taking it piece by piece, you have the father and then the mother together. So most definitely, if you have children, your mother and father would be really involved somehow, somewhere, and there will be a intensely closeness. The feeling, like the emotional, like grip, depending on the degree, though, where everything's at. The emotional intensity is potent, and because since it's a dark moon, anything that is dark in your life, you are able to withstand it, no problem. Because also, again, Venus is also the guru, one of them, and Jupiter is also the other guru. But specifically, Venus does this that Jupiter cannot do. Whenever there's suffering at all, Venus can take you right out of it. Like, I don't know. I don't know about my life anymore. Venus just comes over and goes, oh, no, get up. Uplifts you. So whenever you're in a state where it's intense, whenever you do anything that is artistic, you instantly come out of it. Instantly. And specifically, you really like to take all of these qualities of pretty much giving your focus as well as give your emotional care to alongside creative self-expression and give like the sense of commitment in terms of devoting to something higher. And also because Jupiter Guru is also looking in the same way. Essentially, all the qualities I just said, plus also blessing others in a large organization, or essentially whenever you do any of these towards anybody else, you'll gain tremendously because of it. And it's also something, believe it or not, you'll actually feel like you've already mastered this. It becomes so natural for you to be able to give yourself to help and uplift others, guide others. And wherever sun looks, that's where sometimes your focus can go to. So over in the 11th in Taurus, you can actually see that giving your most attention towards ensuring the luxury, the comforts, and the giving the necessities to people of different cultures and around the world, and connecting others to being able to be given the chance to be able to sustain each other. When you're able to provide that, you have sun getting activated, you'll be getting a sense of fulfillment. Your emotional feeling of feeling full will also be activated. Your sense of like devoting to something higher will be activated. And you'll also be giving the blessings to so many other people that it'll automatically just support you. And since Guru in the fifth looks at the ninth, where he owns that house naturally, and he's looking at Pisces as his one of his own signs, he protects that house. So divinity, your actions, whenever you do those actions, divinity responds, and the ancestors respond because that's the fifth aspect. They respond and they bless you with it. And the ninth house looks at you. Past life deeds come back to you to support you. Mm-hmm. And the people that you encounter, there'll also be possibly people that may be so spiritually inclined. It might be detached around the world, kind of like, or they might be somebody who's really heavy in researching about this world and its comforts. Good. Oh, good. And because it's Scorpio, hello, and no, I didn't ignore you. When it comes to Scorpio, a lot of people don't know this one. Scorpio is the sign that is the most committed, the most devoted, the most like close. Because within Scorpio, there's a small segment called Anuradha, ruled by Saturn. It's number one, all about friendship. The friendship that it is so strong that logic cannot even go against them. Especially with the tale of Radha and Krishna. Yep. That Radha was so devoted to Krishna that she literally said, I want nothing else, but I just want to know you, Krishna. I want nothing else. Just, I want to know you. That's it. Don't want anything else. Just you. I want to know. Now, again, that can go one of two ways. You can have the devoted, as in somebody who refuses to leave you and let you suffer, stand by you through probably the worst the world can throw at you. That's where my Venus is, by the way. At least for the Western side. Or it can go to the other extreme, like potentially a committed way that's a bit uncomfortable. It's that intensity. But the thing is, with Scorpio can be of two extremes. The pure devoted, which would be like water that's frozen in crystal clear ice. Then there's the fixed water that is swampy. And depending on where Mars is at and what other planets are in Scorpio or influencing Scorpio, depending on that, you can see somewhat on how it's going to affect that. But specifically for Jay's state and case, because the two gurus, the two most potent benefic planets are together in Scorpio. And the two luminaries, are in Scorpio. And even though the little shithead Pluto, he's in there too, but his influence is not really that large. But because since he co-rules it, he does add a little bit of protection towards it too. So transformation does empower. Well, both Scorpio and Virgo, they both go and coincide with each other of destruction. They both destroy. Nine, nine high five, because I'm one too. Double nines, you know what that makes? 9 plus 9 is 18. Then when you add 1 and 8, oh, there's a 9 again. Too many nines. Well, double 9. But, I mean, really, I've practiced this field since 2010. But with astrology, I started in 2017 and had a mentor. But he passed in 2019. And with Vedic astrology, primarily, all that is self-taught up until I took some credential courses. But then, even then, most of it is self-taught primarily, except the Western part, because my mentor gave me everything he knew. And boy, it was a lot. But again, and Rahu in there too, along with the two luminaries, the king and the queen, the two gurus. And here's another little fun fact. Rahu, when he comes close to Jupiter, he's more like, so, if you're this big, fancy advisor to the gods, prove it. Till then, I don't believe a word you say. Then here comes Venus. Shukra Guru. Rahu will bow to Venus, because that's his guru. So Rahu will listen to Venus. Rahu will not listen to Jupiter. But now here's the thing. Have Rahu taking his aspect of being like explosive and unpredictable and just wild. He gets restricted, and then his other guru comes in and calms him. So your north node of what you're striving for within Scorpio, it's able to be put to practice for the best intent. So the purest quality of Scorpio becomes your focus, which it does include transformation. Mm-hmm. But the thing with instability with Scorpio does face a lot of the hardest things in life. So does Aquarius. Those are the two karmic signs, but nonetheless, with Scorpio, the transformation may be painful, but always taking transformation and understanding it's changing and it's part of the flow. When you understand that and just see that the light of the world never leaves you, it's always there. Even if it's not in front of you at the moment, it's still there. It's just waiting to be seen yet again. Because that that thing that you're drawn to when it dies, that feeling is still there within. But when you see it come through again, that's essentially the point. The light, like the inner flame and the inner blissfulness, it's always there. When you think it's gone, it's just waiting to be seen again outside. And Scorpio, once you understand that with Scorpio, that transformation takes that light that's in front of you, comes back in, then it comes back out again. I know it's a bit cryptic, but really, if you once you understand that, you'll get the idea, if that makes sense. And some things do have to be like table flipped because stagnation prevents what has to be coming in from coming in. But now, Virgo and Scorpio destructive. Well, Scorpio is the sign that is primarily about destruction, but so is Sagittarius, can be one too. But Scorpio is the sign that actually goes into the aspect of unpredictability, because Scorpio also rules the sign of, the side of the law of probability, meaning the law of probability states that everything that can possibly happen has a certain percentage of happening. Like, for an example, there's a certain mathematical percentage of a whale landing on my head at any given second right now. There's a probability for that. There's a probability as soon as I drop this, it's going to bounce and slap me in the face. It didn't happen, but still, the probability was still there. Because it's unpredictable. Scorpio also has dominion of the occult, secrecy, deception. Scorpio is also the sign of assassinations, believe it or not. Because assassinations, do they happen when somebody knows about it? No, they're always usually done in secret, or stalking, or staying in the shadows. Because if you're trying to be like saying the Capricorn, like for example, is about assassinations, that's not going to work. Because in order to be doing an assassination, you don't have a status, you don't have a title, you don't have a known reputation. No, that's going to get you in deep doo-doo. And you cannot be one if you're intoxicated, like being the state in Pisces, where it's like, oh, maybe this perspective is better. No, I don't know. I'm just so aloof. If that makes sense. But Scorpio is the one of the destructive signs, yes, for that reason, because destruction sometimes has to be done to have change come through. But now Virgo is the sign that destroys to perfect, to get what does not need to be here out. I'll answer that question in a second, Jess, but hold that note. Virgo, the way that it behaves, it destroys by purging. If it's not pure, if it's a health hazard, if it's something that is needing to be cleaned and swept away and removed to ensure purity and to heal disease or affliction, that's still destruction. Because what you're doing is you're using a tamasic or destructive quality against something that is causing harm. That's destructive. When you criticize something and nitpick something, which is Virgo still, it's perfecting something. That's still destructive. It may not be specifically like just whacking something. If there's something wrong here, then here, then here, then here. That's destruction. Because what you're doing is you're pointing to the parts that are not perfect. That's destruction. And that's why Venus gets pissed off in Virgo. Because Venus, when it comes to art, Venus does not want to criticize art. She feels like, why do I have to feel the need to tell this person who made this art piece that it's wrong? It's not perfectly straight. There's some pieces of paint missing. Isn't the frame's off? She doesn't know. Because with art is an artistic expression of oneself. Art cannot be criticized because art is an expression. And how one expresses themselves is an art. So is the art of witchcraft and the occult. It's an art. You can't critique art. You can't nitpick art. Because the thing is that if somebody nitpicks your art, there's no other way to make it better from the creator's standpoint. Because once they release it, they are saying it's complete. And whomever comes in and looks at it, whatever opinion they get, it cannot be fully critiqued, nitpicked. Because at the core of it all, art, naturally, on its own, is always perfect. Once it is put out in front of the world by a creator's hand, anybody's hand, it's perfect. Because it came from somebody's hand. And if it's not living up to another person's standards, well, that's their issue, not the artist's issue. Nope. Venus in Aquarius, that's actually a friendly sign for her. Venus actually is in a sign of her friend Saturn. So Venus finds beauty and admiration and naturally likes to give love in a way that is unique, unpredictable. But because Venus in Aquarius, whoa, 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 let's just say when it comes to women's advocacy, that is a really, really, really beautiful thing to actually get your appreciation. If somebody wants to impress you, they have to be able to understand that, hey, you're not going to be pushing down women like this. And since Venus is looking at Leo, you can also say that you like to give your loving attention to somebody who might be struggling with their ability to express themselves. So you could actually be really excelled in uplifting and motivating people to let themselves express themselves and just discover their self-worth. And depending on which specific degree Venus is at, like so, like say if you have it in like the very beginnings of Aquarius, so like say in like 6 degrees, Set Bishaka, and that's essentially a part of Aquarius, which is the circle void, and is a voided circle, like symbolism wise, and it has encased in this circle 100-ish stars. It is also known as the 100 physicians to the divine, the 100 stars, or the 100 medical advisors, or the 100 servants, or the 100 caretakers to divinity. So, Venus there. Essentially, you'll have a significant other that is extremely all about esoteric ways of medicine. You also might have a significant other who may be doing something like this, tarot, or the occult, alternative medicine, even be in mental health. And because Venus is in there, it actually may hint at possibly significant other, spouse figure, or if Venus is the highest degree planet as a soul significator. You can even also see Venus being also, you pretty much prioritize using natural remedies to assist the issues that women face. So, for an example, say if a woman is having difficulty with like beauty or the whatnot, and a suggestion you use to combat like her, say for example, if she wants to make herself more beautiful to support that, you suggest her getting a thing of like gardenia essential oil. So you advise her just take your roller and just all around and just like that. That would bring you probably the most sense of beauty and feeling, wow, I feel like I'm actually able to uplift people when I'm doing this. And since Sepashaka is also the nakshatra that's also ruled by Rahu, essentially the ways that these procedures are prescribed, they may come off as a little bit different, unique, and against the quote unquote norm. Doesn't matter because really Venus in Aquarius wants to ensure that the voices of women are heard, appreciated, and valued. That's a big one. And because this is a karmic sign and how Aquarius behaves, a lot of either time, energy, medicine, you too, Angela, a lot of time, effort, and resources are given to women focused like charities, donations, and those women focused groups are prioritized getting the assistance from you. And even the same thing with art too, because art gets a priority because that's Venus. And especially when you are able to connect to the like different cultures and seeing how women of other cultures are, that also brings you a lot of understanding of how the faces of beauty throughout the world There's an unlimited supply. And of course, by unlimited supply, I'm talking about that when it comes to meeting women of other cultures, you probably will always be able to see the beauty in each and every one of them. Because again, that's Venus and Aquarius. Aquarius is a sign that is bringing the world together. Venus is women and beauty. So beauty is found in women throughout the world. It doesn't matter where she yields from, you're able to see it. And appreciate it. That's another big one. Cool. And I'm going to take my leave because I've been live for about an hour and 30 minutes. I'm exhausted. So I hope you all enjoy. I'll be back probably tomorrow for another live. So I'll see y'all later. Have a good night, love.